everyone, today I'm sharing 5 apps that helped me finally change my habits long term. Some of them are habit apps and some of them aren't supposed to be habit apps at all, but they work incredibly well, so let's get into it. App number 1 is WhatsApp. WhatsApp is probably the best habit building tool I've ever used, and it might surprise you that I'm starting with a messaging app, but here's why it works. I joined WhatsApp groups with people who are trying to build habits just like I am. For example, one group I joined is a general group for people trying to build any kind of habit. Each person chooses their own. For example, I committed to just 30 seconds of meditation per day. Each day you write that you did it, and because it's a group, your ego kinda kicks in. You really don't want to be the one who has to write didn't do it. And even if you don't do it, like I sometimes didn't, you still feel kinda committed to figuring out how you're gonna make yourself do it the next time. I'm actually in Hebrew speaking group since that's my native language, so I can't really recommend an English one, but I bet you can use the same process I used to find them, which was basically just searching on YouTube and Google for mentors in the area where you want more motivation. For me, it was eating better. Then you check whether they have any group like this. The pros of this is that it's intimate, it's high accountability, it works long term. The cons is that if you are not an honest person, you can just lie. And finding a really good group can take some time. Now, one more thing, be selective about which groups you join. Some groups take on challenges that might be too intense for you. I once joined a 75 hard group, which is a 75-day challenge where you work out 90 minutes a day, drink a gallon of water, and follow a strict diet. I ended up leaving because the water requirement alone was too much for me to handle, so know your limits before committing. And number 2 is Atom. You may have heard of this one. Atoms is the official app from James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits. You don't need to read the book to use it, but reading it will make the app even more powerful. The core idea of this app is build habits so tiny they are almost impossible to fail. For example, I wanted to build a habit of standing instead of sitting for a couple of hours a day, but that felt like a big challenge, so I started with standing for just 1 minute when I wake up. The app really made it pretty simple. It walks you through downsizing your habit to the easiest possible version, anchoring it to a specific time, e.g. when I wake up, tying it to your identity, like asking what kind of person does this habit. For the standing example, it's like someone who lives a healthy lifestyle. Because the habit is so small and tied to a specific time, it's incredibly memorable. The app also sends reminders if you forget to track, and over time you build up, like 1 minute becomes 2 minutes, 2 becomes 5, and so on. And the pros is that it's very sustainable, it's very realistic, it's long-term result, and the cons is that it's a slow process, but that's exactly why it works. App number 3 is Macrodroid. This one you've probably never heard of, and it's not even a habit app, it's an automation app, but I use it for habits all the time. Macrodroid lets you set up if this then that automations on your phone, and personally I use it for things like mindful eating. I set up an automation that talks out loud at meal times and asks me, would it be good for you to eat right now? So I don't have to remember to ask myself. I also use it for messaging boundaries, like if I'm about to message people at hours when I'm not supposed to, my phone warns me not to do so. And my personal example might not fit your life exactly, but there are some examples I guess might be more relevant to you. Like if you are a YouTube addict, you can set it so that if you open YouTube before 7 p.m., your phone gives you a warning message or blocks it entirely. Or if you have trouble going to sleep on time, you can make your phone automatically launch your meditation app when you plug it in to charge at night. And if you want to study more consistently, you could set it to automatically open your study playlist or block distracting apps during study hours. The talking reminders there are a really game changer. Hearing a voice comes out of your phone is way harder to ignore than the silent notifications I used to set up in Keep Notes. So the pros of this app is that it's fully customizable. You set it once and it runs itself. The cons is that it can be a little technical to set up, so you can ask ChatGPT for help. You may start ignoring some automations over time, and if you really want to get the most out of it, you may want to use the paid version, which I use, by the way. App number 4 is Schedit. Schedit lets you schedule and repeat WhatsApp messages automatically. Again, not a habit app, but incredibly useful specifically for habits you do with another person. Here's how I use it. If I have a recurring habit with someone, like it can be a language exchange, a study session, a workout accountability check-in, I set up a repeating message that automatically sends to them every week at the same time, reminding them to show up. One of the biggest challenges with partner habit is that the other person forgets or has something comes on or doesn't plan ahead, and a schedule reminder fixes that without you having to think about it every week. And I actually paired this with a money commitment. For example, if I ate after 5 p.m., I owed money to my accountability partner. Now, the pros is that it makes partner habit much more consistent and reliable, and the cons is that it works best when you already have someone to do habits with, which can be pretty hard because you need someone you really trust who can actually hold you accountable. App number 5 is Stick. Stick is a commitment app where you put real money on the line. You commit to a habit, and if you don't report that you did it, they charge your card. Now, you decide the amount, whatever feels meaningful to you. You can also choose where the money goes if you fail, like a charity, an anti-charity, or the app itself. Now, the pros of this is that it's extremely motivating in the short term, even when you are busy and have forgotten why this habit matters. A financial consequence snaps you back into awareness fast. Now, the cons are that if you are not honest, you can just falsely report that you did the habit, but even then, the reminder itself has some value because sometimes we don't fail habits out of laziness. We fail because we simply forget about them. So those are my 5 apps for building real lasting habits. WhatsApp for group accountability, Atom for tiny identity-based habits, Macrodroid for phone automations that build systems, Schedit for automated reminders for partner habits, and Stick that is financial commitment. The great thing about all of these is that once you set them up, they mostly run on autopilot. You don't have to be obsessed with habit tracking to use them. They work quietly in the background even when you are busy. Now, let me know in the comments, have you tried any of these? Which one are you most curious to try? I love to hear what's worked for you. I'll put links to all of these in the description. And if you enjoyed this video, I really recommend checking out my discipline videos, especially my recent one on getting into your discipline era. It pairs really well with everything we talked about today. And if this was helpful, please like and subscribe. It genuinely helped me make more videos like this one, and I hope to see ya in the next one.